Hey, it's Amanda Taro.
I'm Anita Heat.
And we are
Chelsea
Michelle. So we have 2 published books currently, and you can find the links to those in the description below. But today is part 2 of our Mysteries We Sample. So last week we did the taste test, and today we're doing our table talk. However, we're not doing it on the table because my table's full of junk. So
Table is table talk.
yes, so we're doing a tableless table talk, but we are talking about Sue Thomas. This is a spoiler video. We watched Simon Says, which is, I think, season 3, episode 1. So we're going to dig into Simon Says specifically and talk about that episode in depth. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can watch it on Prime. I believe it's just Prime. It could be Hallmark Movies now, but definitely one of those branches of Prime. So you get, like, you know, a week free subscription and just binge it. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
So, Simon Says.
Where do you start?
Well, first off, we start with, I was trying to pick which episode to show her. And I was going between Simon Says or False Prophet. I mean, there's a lot of good episodes, but a lot of the best episodes are 2-part. But we didn't have time to watch 2 of them. We just had time to watch one. So I'm like, oh, which one should I show you? So I was like, do you want to watch one about a cult or a serial killer? And she couldn't decide. She's like, oh, they're both really good. So there might be problems with this, guys. So we did finally decided on Simon Says. And the entire reason I really wanted that one was the very end. So if you see in the end, I know I'm like totally just jumping to the end.
No, yeah, it's fine.
But I love how they sometimes take it and they like mute out all the sound to come from Sue's point of view.
That was really
And I absolutely love how at the end it's like go blipping back and forth where, you know, it's normal people sound and then it's death and all that. And so she does not hear when Jack fires the shot.
Yeah.
That was just brilliantly done, in my opinion. So now that I've got the reason, you know, the big ending we talked about, let's go back to the beginning and we'll go more with you because this is your first time seeing it. I've seen it like 3-4 times. So this might be my 5th time.
So the beginning, let's see, they were given the assignment of a serial killer who, strangely enough, is posing women in chairs with scarves around their neck. And they've got to find him, and they don't have a lot to go on. So it's definitely a very bizarre thing. I love the conversation they had in the office about what basically the patterns and
profile
stuff of the serial killers. And I personally don't think of those things, but it makes sense when they point it out. It's like, okay, yep, all of these things make sense. So it was really neat, just kind of, I guess, learning.
Right. And like they were assigned this, but then it ramped up because Sue was telling off a reporter, and she's like, we can catch him without your help. And so then the headlines come up that, you know,
but they're going to catch him.
That she vows to catch him. And so, well, this is, you know, his target is women in high power positions.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. And so she painted a big target on herself, well, or rather the reporter painted a big target on her for her. And so, so they get really like caught up, like that just ramps up the tension automatically.
Because now he wants to play the game with her.
Yes.
And that was, okay, they're told to go to the park, and of course she's supposed to be alone, but she's not, and he gets mad. It was so creepy when he asked her to take a picture of
in the park?
Yes.
Pose a certain way and take a picture.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't like this. Something was really odd too when the old lady took the picture, like she kind of looked at her like she was sad, like, why are we doing this? You know, like, obviously she didn't know the serial killer had asked for it, but I think she was kind of thrown back that she had posed in that way, but something about, it almost looked like she knew, you know, like she just had that look like, oh honey, no. No, don't do this thing. Like, there was something about her face that, I don't know. But then, of course, he's angry now because she had broken the rules.
She brought people along.
Yeah, and I had been saying from the beginning, like, then you don't play. Then I quit. I don't play this. But you know what? I think that really did make him very angry. You know, he said like he was just placating them and going along with it. I think it really did make him mad because she was gonna quit. You know, and that, yeah. No, I don't think he appreciated that. But let's see what.
So
happens.
at that point, because after she didn't follow his instructions, he killed another person, and that was whenever after that they had a conversation in the office, and she's like, "I will quit, and unless you play by my rules." And then that night he messages her alone. He's like, "I imagine that your coworkers were standing around, so this is just for you." And so that's whenever he tells her to meet him in like Lincoln Avenue, 15th floor. Which, like, is one of those things, like, you know, you're always watching the movies and you're like, all right, don't do this stupid thing. But it doesn't feel so stupid when she's doing it.
It felt stupid.
I mean, it feels stupid, but it's not like...
She had motivation for going.
Right.
But I was still like, no, girl, don't do that.
Yes, yeah.
Don't
It
do
still
that.
was stupid, but it wasn't like a novice who's like, oh, I'm just, like, gonna, like, dig around here and, oh, wait, somebody could attack me? You know, like, she knew what she was doing. I guess that's the thing. It wasn't
true.
ignorant.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
ignorant. It
She
was
went.
stupid,
She
but
weighed
not
her
ignorant.
cost and decided
Yes.
it was worth it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
I didn't think it was worth it.
yeah, but it was a very important part because she got to see him talk. So yeah, so Sue is deaf,
Yeah.
so she reads lips. So she got to see him talk, which was played out later in the movie. So there was that, and I think kind of through all this, they were at that point was whenever they realized that he was posing the women in like based off of art and using scarves from their homeland, the artist's homeland.
And it is really smart. You know, it's just, it's a strange, honestly, it's a riddle that I wouldn't have ever even figured out. And so it was very smart.
Yeah. So basically his thing was he was making women in their purest form without nail polish and makeup, and he was posing them and returning them to their homes. So that was kind of like where they figured out, oh, this is what he's doing. And then they get the curator. So then they think it's the curator. So then they arrest the curator who has red hair.
Guard. Remember
I mean,
looked
guard,
at
not the curator, the guard.
They were suspecting him, and then they looked.
And
up
they
the guard.
lived
Yeah.
up the guard. That's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, and so they think they have him, and so then they're back at Susan Lucy's, and they're all gonna find something to eat, and of course, so one of the subplots for all this, they have really good subplots, I will say, is that Sue and Lucy's faucet isn't working. Of course, from the very beginning, she's like, it was a plumber. The plumber did it.
Yeah, we were like, what, 5 minutes into it? And there's a plumber brought in, and I'm like, get out of that bathroom. It's him. I know it's him.
You were wrong-ish, right-ish.
Hey, you would suspect every plumber that comes into your house.
Yeah, but it wasn't
Yeah.
the first guy, because the first guy was the nephew of,
Yeah.
whatever. And so in the end, it was this other person who
was
was
posing as
a plumber.
Yeah.
And so all of Sue's friends leave, and he's doing something, and he's asking her a question, and that's when she recognizes, she recognizes the way his lips move as the same guy. And so she's like, she realizes that's who he is. And that's the brilliant scene that I started this entire thing off with, where she fights him, it keeps going muted or whatever, and then, Jack comes in and shoots him, and she doesn't hear it, and she just, like, sees him fall, and then Jack's there. It's very brilliantly done.
That is really good. Not brilliantly done. It's her fighting tactics. Multiple times in that scene, I'm thinking, grab that lamp and throw it at him, smash it over his head. I've watched too much Lifetime. But seriously, I'm like, why is this woman?
Yeah, her fighting. Yeah, she obviously did not take lessons.
Tea Garden.
Or
She would
Tea
have thrown
Garden?
the lamp. She
totally.
would have thrown the lamp.
Totally.
Yeah, she's definitely that person too. And
which is funny because you didn't recognize him.
Yeah, no.
But Yannick Bissum, who acts for Jack Hudson, acted in Aurora Tea Garden. I'm like, do you recognize him? Do you recognize him? No. Yeah. So her first main boyfriend, like not like she had a lot of like 1 episode boyfriends, but Aurora Tea Garden's like I think he's like a 4 episode boyfriend or something.
She had some long term, and then I think maybe it was actor issues, probably.
Yeah.
Because they kept losing boyfriends.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Jack Hudson.
Yeah.
Jack Hudson is the
Which
same.
and can we say that about Jack?
Say what about Jack?
The love interest.
Oh. Go
Like,
for it.
is that too much of a spoiler?
Oh, this is
the
a spoiler
well,
episode.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a spoiler
season,
video.
I don't know. But she'd asked me afterwards, she's like, could you tell the love interest? I'm like, as soon as you said the name Jack, I knew it was Jack. She's like, are you kidding me? No, I'm dead serious. As soon as she said Jack, I was like, that's him.
Yeah, so you could tell there's a little bit of,
Yeah.
you know, they really play that one up. And of course, in the
He's
FBI,
just protective of her.
you're not allowed to date within your unit. So that's a constant thing with all of them. And of course, Lucy wants them together, and you see that more throughout all the different episodes or whatever. But yeah, so there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But I will say on the personal level, like, I always love the office parts. Like, this time through, there was a coffee maker that was like, they could never get to work. So they would just pop in, like, every single day they come in, they were like, oh, the coffee's too hot, or it's stone cold, or whatever. It's just like, I love that little cozy element. I think it's a little bit, like, cozy family feel. So I love how they counteract the suspense with something like that. They do a really good
And this
job
one
with that.
needed it. This was definitely a more suspenseful.
Yeah, I will say this is probably one of the most suspenseful episodes out of all.
I don't do well with stalkers. I guess you can see that from Michelle, but
This fucking one, serial killer stalker. Which I will say, this one, yes, it's serial killer, but
he's in the background.
He's in the
It's
background.
not-
Yes.
But having not read the other things that we've written already, that we're working on releasing to you, we do see more of that. And it's, again, as we've talked about, our Chelsea Michelle personalities, they're natural, you know? It really is who we are. And so all throughout the show, I'm like, why are you leaving her alone? Why? Why? Because when they were all going to go grab food, I'm like, don't leave her alone.
With the strange plumber guy.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, no, it's the plumber. It's the plumber. And even when they arrested the other guy, I was like, I mistakenly said she should recognize his voice because he had, like...
She can't hear him.
Yeah, she didn't. But they should have, because they would have heard it.
But that's very interesting. They never had him talk. Oh, well, they did have him talk in the very beginning.
office.
The guy who they arrested. No, the guy who they arrested.
Oh.
But he did talk because he said, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'll bring this outside, break it up." But his voice was kind of softer, like the real serial killers.
It was similar, but it wasn't the same. I think
No,
it was
it wasn't.
softer. It didn't have that hard edge to it, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, you know what? Because again, Michelle being Michelle, and you know, you'll see that more. You know, it's all about smells too. And I'm like, because when she had met the serial killer by herself, she read his lips, and she had to have smelled him. I mean, I don't care if he's got sweat or barbecue chips. She had to have smelled him, right? And especially for somebody without the sense of hearing, like other senses are,
They pay more
And
attention
so, so anyways, I'm thinking, you know, put her in a room with him, and really, like, let him talk. She's gonna pick up his, because she studies the mouth. She's gonna pick up the mannerisms of the lips and, you know, things like that, even the teeth and all of that, which she did immediately when the guy talked to her. And I wonder if he meant, like, do you think he was kind of surprised that she recognized him when she did?
I don't know. I think that was his intent.
Because he wanted
Well,
her.
he wanted her, so I bet he was trying to lure her alone into the bathroom.
Yeah.
But she recognized him before.
Yeah, because I think he was surprised that she had recognized him when she did. And I wonder if he knew she was deaf.
I don't know. See, that was
that
the
was
fact
never very
he
clear.
could have researched very easily, though.
Yeah.
Because by that time in the show, you know, there had been several newspaper articles written about her. So,
He was definitely a researcher. So
so
possibly.
yeah, he probably could have known that.
Yeah. But yeah, because he told her to close her eyes when they were alone.
Yeah.
And of course we're going, you know, if she closes her eyes, nothing he says to her counts for anything. And yet he was forcing her to obey. And I couldn't help wondering if maybe he didn't know that she was no longer going to be able to hear him. You know, and maybe he was just going to disappear. We don't even know what happened right after that.
No, we really don't.
Yeah.
That's not covered.
It's not, Because I was like, did he molest her? Like, you know, but there doesn't appear to be
No, I
any-
think he just tied her up, and I think he just.
Was she even tied up?
I'm not sure.
She was sitting down.
He might have told her not to move or not to go anywhere, or if, I don't know. Honestly,
Yeah.
that kind of like, that's kind of like,
Yeah.
or he probably intended he knew that her team was gonna come after her. So they're probably, because all
Or
he was
could have
doing
heard
was
it
very
even and left early, because he would have heard this because they had sirens
true,
blaring.
true. So yeah,
So-
but he was very intentional in everything he did.
Yeah.
Which is kind of creepy. And that was
Yeah.
that was one of the parts that I remember. You were like, oh, because she was walking around and she was like getting in his head and like, so I'm doing this and I'm doing this,
That was-
you know, but I'm not even noticing it's cold outside, you know.
Yeah,
So
that was. Ugh. I don't
yeah.
think I can do that job.
No.
No. Which is funny because we have to get in the careless thread anyways.
Right.
Like, that is what we do.
This is true. But we
Yeah.
don't have a serial killer besides.
Yeah,
First
the
one.
guy in the background.
Yeah.
But
Ours
yeah.
are a little cozier than suspenseful. So yeah.
There is that.
But I will say, yeah, so Sue Thomas is a little bit more suspenseful, especially their FBI, so they deal with a lot of national threats and terrorism.
Just like, yeah, reading the lips and the. Yeah, because I kept thinking, why didn't she go talk to this guy? Why, you know. I don't know. But I think they were so quick to let their guard down. And that's one of the perks to being at home watching it is that it's not over until it's over. And I guess in real life, when you make the arrest, you do feel like it's over.
Yeah.
But, and I said it even then, I was like, why are you leaving her alone? But they think it's over.
Right.
And I told her, I said, that's why Michelle doesn't like to be alone. That's why she doesn't like to be alone. But it is such a comfort thing for her to have somebody with her, particularly a strong man. Because that's the thing too. Like, so when they knew the threat was with her, she had yet another house guest, and it was another woman. I'm like, no, you've got 4 or 5 guys in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, no. In fact, Monday, Tuesday. No, I'm sorry. They'd have been camping out in my house. No.
But these are strong, independent women.
You can't outdo a man. I'm sorry. But again, there's the real Chelsea Michelle.
Yeah.
Because Michelle does find physical comfort, safety in physical man. You know, just that presence that they bring. And there is romantic notions aside. There is just genuine safety there, I think, for her. And so, yeah, I was not comfortable. Even with the girls, I was like, man.
That's funny because
this
I
is
am
not-
more comfortable in numbers. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be a guy, just as long as there's numbers.
No. I was like, I don't care if there's 10 women there. That is not going to get... 9 women, 1 guy. I'm good. But, you know, yeah, seriously, no. I would have, yeah. Nope. I need the male presence. That is, yeah. That is a big deal. So again, when they left, and all of them leave, and I'm like,
You can't get over that, can
no. And the whole time I'm like, it's the plumber. It's the plumber. I'm like, it wasn't the fat plumber. It's this plumber. And I'm watching his face, like trying to, because we got to see his mouth quite a bit too. And I'm looking, and I'm trying to hear his voice, and I'm like, I can't quite, but.
But he looked nice, which apparently that's one of those things with serial killers.
Yeah,
is like,
isn't that weird?
yeah, that might have been something in an earlier episode where they're like, she's like, he doesn't look like I thought he would look like. You know, you expect them to be these hardened men, but no, sometimes it's the nice looking ones.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. We chose serial killer over cults. And
Yeah.
yep, and I'm gonna get her to watch all the rest of them. So
And you should too.
yes, definitely. So let us know your thoughts on Sue Thomas and
On this episode.
This episode.
Did you solve it first? Were you freaked out?
Yeah. Were you suspecting the plumber from the
Yeah.
very first time you saw him? Like this person was.
Man, I'm like, oh, he's got wrenches. This is bad. No good. No good. Yeah.
So yeah, let us know your thoughts on Sue Thomas, and let us know which other mystery you think we should taste test and table talk on, and we will be back with more of those in the future.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.